Sometimes, I come across a story that completely changes the way I look at history. Not because it's the most famous or violent, but because one detail refuses to leave my mind. This is one of those stories. Today, I want to tell you about someone I had never heard of until I started researching juvenile executions in America. Her name was Hannah Ocuish. She was just 12 years old. At only 12 years old, Hannah Ocuish is believed to be the youngest person ever executed in American history. When I first read that, I honestly thought it had to be a mistake. I checked every source, and they all said the same thing. 12. Before we talk about the crime, I think we need to understand the little girl behind the court records. Hannah was a member of the Mohegan community living in Connecticut. Historical records describe her growing up in extreme poverty. Imagine living in 1786. No electricity, no schools like we know today, no child welfare system or counselors stepping in to protect vulnerable children. Life was already difficult. For a poor Native American child, it was even harder. This is where my heart started breaking. Historical records describe her being accused of stealing food, including strawberries, and I couldn't stop wondering, was she hungry? I'll never know. History doesn't answer that question. That thought brought tears to my eyes, because in that moment, Hannah stopped being just another name in an old history book. She became a little girl trying to survive. In December of 1786, an elderly woman named Eunice Bullis was found dead after suffering severe injuries. Authorities quickly focused on Hannah Ocuish. According to court records, the attack followed a dispute involving stolen food. During questioning, Hannah eventually made statements that investigators treated as a confession. And this is where I started asking questions. How do you question a 12-year-old child in 1786? Was she alone? Did she understand? There were no recorded interviews, no audio, no video. All we have are words written down by other people. And I found myself wondering, how much of Hannah's own voice has been lost to history? Back then, there was no juvenile justice system. Hannah was tried much like an adult. Can you imagine that? Standing in a courtroom, surrounded by adults, at 12 years old. I honestly couldn't. The jury found Hannah guilty. Her punishment, death by hanging. But what shocked me even more was that she wasn't executed immediately. She spent about 5 months waiting. 5 months. Can you imagine being 12 years old? Knowing every sunrise brought you one day closer? Historical accounts say Hannah became increasingly distressed, counting the days. When I read that, I actually closed my laptop, bless her heart. On December 20th, 1786, Hannah Ocuish was executed. Witnesses described her as frightened as she walked to the gallows. She reportedly thanked the sheriff for treating her kindly. A 12-year-old little girl thanking someone for showing her kindness. I realized something. I wasn't thinking about the execution anymore. I was thinking about the child. A poor little girl living in a world that offered very few protections. A child whose name almost disappeared from history. Hannah's story reminds us that history is never just about laws. It's about people. Behind every old document, there was once a real person. And in this case, a 12-year-old little girl named Hannah Ocuish. Thank you for taking the time to remember her with me today.